At this point, we will, are you ready? Okay, at this point, we will start the meeting of the Carver Conservation Commission for, what is it, October 3rd, 2018. Okay, first item of business, appointments and discussions. All right. Informal discussion with GAF Engineering. That must be why Bill's here.
We resigned, meeting you weren't here. Resigned.
Bill Madden from GAF Engineering. I just have a question to run by the board or something to run by, and I'll have a plan to hand out. Just to,
A plan to hand out, okay.
with all the pertinent information on it.
Thank you. Which one? Oh, Peter?
That plan that I presented you with is a Form A plan. It's been approved by the planning board. And what it did is we divided one parcel into three. We took two parcels rather, the existing dwelling, and we broke the cranberry bog off with enough area on it to build a single-family residence. And when we presented the plan to our client, they weren't necessarily satisfied with the amount of area that was allowed to be built in. I mean, your bylaw restricts the building of a dwelling within 100 feet of the cranberry bog. And the green shaded area illustrates that area that exists 100 feet away from the bog. And you can see I have a little note off to the right hand side that building envelope is 4,383 square feet. It's enough to build, like, say, a house that was 40 by 24, 28 by 44, something along that line. I think I can be a little more accurate with a dimension. Just to let you know that we can build a structure on the lot, something like 44 by 28. So raised ranch style home, 44 by 28, can fit into that gray area. But I don't think that the client was necessarily satisfied with the ability to build a house like that. So I know that by a variance, we can build something within 65 feet. I mean, your bylaw is pretty clear, no structures within 65, and it's clear with the house, no house within 100. I'm sorry, yes, nothing within 100 feet.
Actually, I think the rules say no structures within 100, but then there's some variances can be allowed.
Yeah, it says no person shall build any residential dwelling within 100 feet of a cranberry bog.
Right.
So I guess that's what really it is. I don't think that we'll be preparing a plan to move forward with a septic system or anything that would require filing. And what I did is I just thought that it would be prudent to come before you to just sort of take your temperature on what your maybe past practice would be with something like this, and whether or not an opportunity for a variance would be viable in this case. So that's pretty much the long and the short of it.
Would you consider going to the zoning board and trying to get them to give you a break on the side setback, which is at 30 feet, and whether you might be able to bring that down to like 25 or so and increase
Make the building footprint.
the buildable area a little bit wider that way?
I think that we certainly could go before the zoning board, but we would not meet the standards for a variance. So I don't think that they're pretty stingy with the granting of variances in town, and that's justifiably so. And I don't think that we would. Well, I know we wouldn't meet the standards because we can demonstrate that we can build within the setbacks, and there's no hardship.
Have the two lots already been split?
Yes, they've been split, approved by the planning board, and recorded at the registry.
We had a similar situation on Wenham, where a gentleman owned both lots, and he wanted to put a house in, part of it within the 100 feet to 65 feet, And what we asked him to do or talked to him about and he ended up doing was moving the property line. He moved that, he rearranged the way the property was so that he had more space, still had the 30-foot setback, but had more space
Yeah.
away from it.
Right.
And we looked at doing that when we originally laid out the plan, but you can see the septic system components for the existing house are very close to the property line. There's a 10-foot setback for that as well, so that was really one of the factors. I suppose we could kick that line out in the backyard and create a little more setback in that respect also, in the event that, I mean, it's a good suggestion. We could modify that. We could modify that lot line to some degree, working around the existing septic system.
Is this homeowner gonna own this bog? Is
I
it
would,
his
I would say
bog?
yes.
Oh, okay. So remember that with Mark Walker's?
Yeah.
Because he had the bog, that was why he was
Right.
kind of able to do that.
But also the order of conditions was that he owned the bog forever.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You know, as long as he owned the house, he owned the
I
bog.
think, which I think is why that's in the bylaw like that, the 100-foot, because there's more, they have more stake in the
Yeah,
bog if they own
we'd
it.
have to maybe have it written into the agreement that the bog and house stayed linked forever. So,
Do you have any idea what your client is thinking of from the standpoint of a design of a house and how much would encroach within the 100 feet?
No, we haven't received a house plan. We did not, prior to the preparation of this Form A plan, we didn't receive any of that.
what?
I'm confused as to, you have 204 feet of frontage,
Yes,
and the setback from the street, and the setbacks from the lot line, so the issue is coming that we're on top of the 100 foot from the bog, and you don't know what kind of house they want to put up yet.
that's right. So all we're trying to do is improve upon the footprint, the available envelope that's on site.
I would prefer that somebody get more creative with the building design so we have some more definitive answers before we start issuing.
This is a very weird shaped lot.
Yeah.
Why was it necessary to just have that piece of spaghetti running out? At the
Probably to get the square
Access,
footage,
the
right?
water supply for the bog comes off the Weewianick River.
Uh-huh.
So we needed to maintain the water supply for the bog, and there's also an easement on that little narrow piece to provide access to the pump house as well.
Oh.
It's, I mean,
is
it's,
a
Well, the bog wants the access to the water, but why does the house in lot 14 need it?
well, the house on lot 14 has to grant somewhat of a variance, a small one, to allow that existing bog
Oh,
road,
down
dike
the back.
road to encroach on the lot. It's like 2,500 square feet of
Yes.
encroachment, I guess. Well, the access easement
Yeah,
is
okay.
10,000 feet. That little park plan in the corner
60,000 square feet.
describes those details.
It
Well,
also helps you in getting over the 60,000 square foot requirement too, right?
Yeah, it's a fully compliant lot, met the shape factor. I mean, despite its shape, it met the shape factor requirement.
I actually owned a house in Rockland that looked like this.
Yeah.
You know, they told me it had all this acreage, but it was this wide and it went that way for about
Yeah.
2 miles.
3 miles
Oh, I
long.
can walk down there.
Yeah, and in Carver, I mean, you can't count your lot width that's 40 feet or less in width. So we had to get creative and make that band 42 feet wide so that it
really?
was accountable for area. Yep, yeah,
Interesting.
so whatever. I mean,
I would
it's-
like, through the chair, if you, Mr.
Yeah, we
Chairman,
will.
I would like to see a little bit more definitive what we're gonna really wanna do here.
Yep,
So that we have an idea of what we're actually gonna need to adjust if we're gonna be able to do it at all. And I've said this before in an open meeting, I have a problem with setting precedents, because they usually come back and bite us. So when from my personal standpoint, I try to avoid we'll let it slide this time for 10 feet because then we got somebody coming in getting creative and all they want now is 20 feet. And then, well, because you gave him 10, now I'd like 30, and it just goes. So I'm not saying no by any means, but I'd like to see something a little bit more of what you're really going to do, so that we have a better idea of what it is exactly you need us to do.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand your
Fair enough.
position. No, that's absolutely fair. I mean, I think that, it's the residential structure itself can be fit into that box. I mean, your landscaping, your driveway and things, there's no prohibition on that.
Right.
But
And
your point's
architects
very well
can do
taken.
wonderful things with houses. They can do all, make them really look awesome instead of just a cookie cutter raised ranch kind of thing, that they can get a little more creative.
Yeah, they
with
can
that,
fit
so.
it into the available space.
The septic
Exactly.
can fit in there too?
Pardon me?
The septic can fit in?
The septic can fit on the site
Yeah.
and be compliant with Board of Health rules and regulation. The well can fit on the site. I mean, we scoped out those things. Really, it's just the issue of more opportunity to build probably a different style home there or whatever than what
Sure.
that footprint allows for. But, I understand where you're coming from on that, and I think that it makes reasonable sense to me.
You might just
Makes it a lot
smaller.
easier on us, because then we're not trying to pull something out of thin air and say, geez, if you do this and if you do that, and then you gotta come back later on and say, well, we couldn't do this, we needed to do this, how about is it okay? And,
You might just need a smaller house.
yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's, I think
tiny
that,
house.
Yes, yeah.
I think the direction is open-minded
12 and
enough
6
to
stories high.
to
Another one
understand.
watching too much TV over here. Gene says they're cute. I said, yeah, you last about 3 seconds inside one of those.
Well,
Is this an active, Bob?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was one of the things that I was thinking, if it was, where it's small and state of the affairs with Cranberries, I mean, if it were abandoned or were to become abandoned, then the 100-foot setback comes into play as opposed to the 100-foot setback goes away and the 65 setback comes into play. So it's just the circumstances that exist today at the site. I mean, we didn't create the site, we didn't
Right.
build the other house or the septic or the bog for that matter. So,
Well, in a sense, the 100 goes away from the fact that you need a variance, but there's still rules within 100 feet.
Correct.
That say you can't alter.
That's
which
correct, yes.
It's tough to build a house when you can't alter the land. So, okay, I just want to know if it was an active bog. I know where it is, but I suppose I could have waited a couple of weeks and see if it was harvested.
yeah, all right.
My 2 cents worth.
yeah, we probably should take a look at this. And,
You can take a look at it.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it next week and see what we think about it. But,
Yeah, I'd like to have them investigate moving that property
Yeah.
line too a little bit, as a possible option
right,
towards the back, that along the eastern side of that 205-foot line, maybe bump that out a little bit.
It's an option if the house that they desire to build there might not fit, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, because that's how we allowed someone else to build a home, and it worked out very well, actually.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
I'm good.
very
You
good.
Have enough to go back with?
I do have enough. Thanks very much for your time, appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
okay, so, next, business, CLC requests? Any CLC requests today?
No.
Okay, minutes from September 19th.
So it's 7:20, we can go the first hearing. Oh,
You want to do the
first
minutes
hearing?
now?
We can do the first hearing.
Okay, yeah,
Might as well.
yep,
We can do
yep,
the
yep,
minutes
yep,
after.
yep.
Hypothetical minutes.
And that is 72 Center Street.
Yep.
Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Mass Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw. The public hearing will be held at 7:15 p.m. on Wednesday, October 3rd, 2018, in Meeting Room 1 at the Carver Town Hall to hear the notice of intent submitted by Borrego Solar Systems for the proposed construction of a 600.210 kilowatt ground-mounted solar voltaic array. The proposed array is to be installed on the upland cranberry bog located on the northerly central portion of the property. Solar array is located within the 165-foot buffers from the existing wetland cranberry bogs and will require variance from the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Project located 72 Center Street, Carver, Mass. Map 70, Lot 1-0R and Lot 1-5, Carver, Mass. All interested parties are invited to attend.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Here the green
All
card
right.
so far. They're not all back, but
Okay.
that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Good evening, commission members. My name's Dean Smith from Borrego Solar. This is Josh Farkas. He's our project developer for this project. The property owner, Ed Silva, is also here with us this evening. We came to you with a proposal earlier this year to construct in the wetland bog that's to the north and west of our present location, without success. I'm sure you all recall. We've moved it. We had a consultant come out and take soil samples from the adjacent bog, which, looking at historical aerials, appear to have been created from an upland area. And their soil borings confirmed that. There was a pretty clear difference between the underlying soils in the wetland bog and those under the upland bog where our current system is proposed. As the chairman read in the announcement, it's a 600 kilowatt solar facility. This one is a little different from other proposals that we've brought before you. We're not proposing any earth grading in the bog area. We're going to construct on the elevations as they are. There will not be a fence around the solar modules themselves. There will be around the adjacent equipment pad area. So that'll be fenced with the standard chain link fence as we've done on other projects. The elevation of the modules will be set so that the leading edge or the lower edge of the modules will be approximately at the grade of the bog roads that surround the bog. And the upper level of that is about 9 feet tall. So the upper level of the modules would be about what a person standing on the adjacent bog road would be. That the top of their head would be about the top of the modules that are located in there. Being that they're not surrounded by a chain link fence, they will have webbing that keeps the wiring on the back of the modules contained. So that's all in an enclosed space and is strung through that area until it goes down from the equipment, and there are some underground trenches, as there normally would be, running through there and then over to the equipment pad area. The access will be all along the existing bog roads around and through the property. We meet all of the setback requirements for the 200-foot setback. That's one of the reasons why the system is not fenced, because adding the fence would really reduce the usable area for the solar system within that. There's a lot of existing vegetation around the perimeter of the site. We're very central to the parcel, so it increases the distance from the property lines and adjacent properties surrounding us. Other than that, it's very similar to other projects that we've brought in on upland bogs. So we're here to answer any questions that the commission might have for us tonight.
I just had one question that came up. The fence has to be a certain distance from the solar panel array, is that it?
It does, yes.
Okay.
We need access around it for maintenance, and it also cannot be closer than 10 feet, or else you have to ground the fence. So there are some electrical codes that come into play there as well.
That's why.
Planning's not requiring a fence?
No.
So I had sent you a copy of the soil investigation. I sent you all a copy of that report. You remember that from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the commission members also visited the site
Yeah.
with the consultant that did the testing, so.
Sorry.
It's okay.
What's the substrate of the equipment pad area?
Well, that's on an area that's adjacent to the bog roads. It's currently just used for storage right now.
Right.
So it's very similar in character to the bog roads that
You're
that
not
are
gonna
constructed around.
concrete it or?
There will be concrete pads within that. What we normally do is we have a gravel area that surrounds those equipment pads, and then the concrete pads are poured within that. It's the same as what you've seen on our other projects, aside from the fact that it'll be surrounded by a fence.
What do you think?
Do you know how many square feet the concrete would add up to? The pads?
I don't have an exact takeoff from this plan. I can get that for you. It's generally less than 500 square feet total.
That would be impervious.
Yeah.
Right.
We did the site visit there. I was there when you had it on the other location. This is a Plan B.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the one that was kind of in front of the two
This
that
was
were
this
on
one?
before, yeah. Yeah, I think before it was on this one.
Right.
So it's actually,
Well, this is a hill.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the cores between the two were very different.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Really different.
yeah. And all the historical stuff showed that it was, carved from Upland.
And did you guys look at this yet?
We went out, yeah, I'm not sure why you didn't go, but, and we went out with the consultant.
Yeah.
She did cores in both bogs, that pretty much confirmed all her findings in the report. I mean, it was pretty obvious.
Yes.
It was Tim and you and me, I think, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you go to the site visit?
I went to this site visit.
Oh, the wood, yeah.
You guys get all the fun at 10 o'clock in the morning. Some of us work.
I know.
For a living?
And it sucks, I'll tell you.
You worked for a while.
Can't play if you can't pay. Right? So you're asking us for just relief from the setback, the 100-foot wetland buffer?
Well, the 65, because they need a variance for the work, everything within 65.
If you look at
But
the
it's all
exhibit,
Looking at the 100 here, so
Right.
where's the 65? That's this?
yeah,
Yeah,
all of the bog roads are basically within
Right.
the 65-foot area, so we would have to request the waiver
Yeah.
from the 65-foot.
and it's surrounded by all the other bogs, so.
Can I ask another question, Mr. Chair? Are there any abutters here tonight for this?
There's one.
Okay, I also know that there are a couple of abutters that wanted to be here that could not tonight.
They weren't
So
there or anything?
they had other commitments and that was, I got a phone call earlier today just asking that I would make that mention. They didn't want you guys thinking that since nobody's here, everybody's fine with this, I guess, so.
I actually received a phone call from one of the abutters to the north. We set an appointment to have a discussion about it
Oh,
and to
good.
talk about potential screening.
Yeah.
Down, which is a planning
Right, and
board
I
conversation.
explained that to them also,
Yep.
I'm sure we talked to the same person, and I said, screening is that's a planning board thing, fencing is a planning board thing. You're gonna have a hard time trying to plant a 150-foot tree, because, unfortunately, the bog is where it is, and the hill is where it is,
Right.
and the backyards, so that, It
if
is
they
what
need
it is.
screening and they plant it in their backyard, which is already elevated, it will very quickly reach the height that will be effective
It
with
is,
screening.
it is pretty well screened
It's
in the
pretty
nice
well screened
weather.
already.
I guess when
Yeah.
the winter time hits is when it's, you know,
We did walk it with Stephen Cole, the planner as well, and he
Right.
thought that the existing vegetation provided a pretty substantial
Good.
screening. There's a lot of evergreen trees on that hillside that's to the north. And with this new proposed location, we're much further away from the residences.
Right.
So there weren't very many view corridors where you could see
Right.
portions of the homes up there.
but just for the record, I made it clear that that was not within the Conservation Commission's purview. That was a planning board, you know, duke
And
it out
we
thing.
did have some neighbors that were here at the last meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
When we did the informal discussion about the soils testing. And we are scheduled for a public hearing with the planning board later this month.
Oh, okay.
Their second meeting of the
Yeah.
month on, I believe it's October 23rd.
Yeah.
So we do have a public hearing before the planning board scheduled.
And just for the record, Mark Townsend was the abutter I spoke to this morning. I don't know if I think that's the same
Me-
person
me
you
too.
probably spoke with.
Me too.
So,
I just have a question on the plan itself. I see the indication of the 100-foot buffer. I don't see the 65.
I think it's,
It's mostly because they
This is the
overlap
100.
with the bogs being as
That's what I
close
was
together
asking. I don't
as they
see-
are.
oh, there is.
I don't see the 65.
Really, the only way to show it is to show the perimeter around all of the bogs. If you look at the
Right.
color exhibit, the red area is all within 65 feet of one of the wetland bogs. The green area around the very perimeter would be the outer portion of the 100-foot buffer.
Oh, you guys get color.
Oh, yeah, okay, so there you go.
Okay.
The bogs are within 65 feet of each other,
Right,
so everything in
right.
between those
So everything
is
is
in the
pretty
100,
much
or is in the
65 or
65 foot, no
right,
touch.
okay.
Yeah. There's a lot, it's all buffer zones.
And tell me again what will happen to this project if the planning board decides they want to see this with a fence around it? How much of this has to disappear?
Well, that would raise a lot of different considerations. Mr. Silva, there is another upland bog adjacent, but we would be running up against the 200-foot setback in that case. So there's possibilities of expanding into other bogs, but that takes away from his agricultural
Sure, no,
operation.
and I'm not trying to be
And,
difficult, I'm just asking the what if.
Yeah.
It would mean that we would probably lose a rack all the way around the perimeter of the system, so it's probably gonna be a fairly significant hit, like 20 or 25% of the
That was
system
my
size.
question.
Yeah,
That was my
something
question.
on that order.
And that's roughly
considerable.
that's roughly the same hit that we took size wise from moving from the previously proposed bog. That was about a 700 kilowatt system, so we lost about 100 kilowatts coming here. And one of the keys is that we only use one bog for this project, because all of a sudden, if you use a little bit of a second bog, you really lose the whole bog for the cranberry
Right.
Right.
use. So
It's the wetland buffer.
finding a bog that met the setback requirements and was upland basically left us with this one with a smaller system size.
But to the best of your knowledge, the planning board is not going to ask you to fence this.
Correct.
There- we did go to a technical review committee meeting.
Yeah.
So we discussed it with all the town departments, with the peer reviewer, with the planner, and there wasn't really any concern raised against that, as long as we're meeting all the electrical codes about containment of the wiring on the back of the system.
That's the only questions I have, Mr. Chairman.
I still,
Yeah. I don't know why you're here.
I have a question just on the plan. This is this line here is a 100-foot buffer. from-
That's from the natural wetland, yes.
This is a wetland bog.
Yes.
So wouldn't this also go up here? This 100-foot?
It
As a-
would, but we only showed the perimeter around the bogs. This one we thought was more important from the natural bog, the more natural area. So we left that on the plan. It's a little deceiving because this is all within 65 feet of one or the other wetland areas. So
Okay.
I would normally have
This
to
up
show
under
this.
wetland.
This is wetland as well.
They're surrounded by wetlands.
All right,
So you'd have like a million buffer zones
this is
in,
the
on
only
the
upland
Yeah,
boundaries, yeah.
they all higher.
Yeah,
already, almost.
Yes, it would still be within 65
Upland
feet.
boundaries, yeah. These are all, everything else are wetland.
Okay, good, but really, it's the interior.
There would be a very small interior that would be outside of it.
Yeah, okay.
There is one.
That's what I was trying to get at.
It's
I'm
too-
just
too
wondering if
small
we
for
want to
these
have
guys.
that for our records, but just so we know exactly what it is that,
I could add
We're
something
giving a
like that to a
variance.
plan for your files to show each individual 100-foot buffer and see if there is a small
I think it would be
postage
confusing.
stamp in there.
We did
That's-
it the
that was
last time
problem.
around, and it was
yeah.
That was
very.
the problem. It starts to get too busy and
Right.
you don't really see what's going on.
but it also delineates exactly what it is you're getting the variance on. You know, all of the panels that need the variance as opposed to all the, you know, just everything. It's, you know, that's just
Yeah.
something that I'm looking at and I'm thinking maybe we should have it for the record.
Right.
If, it's not important to me as far as the ruling is concerned,
Okay.
but I'm just thinking from the standpoint of having it.
Yeah, you can do that.
A
Just-
reference,
yeah.
just a reference.
Yeah,
It's pretty
that's
minimal.
all.
It's gonna look really, yeah. 'cause everything's-
Yeah, we can provide that and
That
say
wide.
what percentage of the system is
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
within the 65-foot setback and what's completely out of.
And it kind of goes to what Alan was saying before with the previous gentleman about precedence. So we have it for the future,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the other ones
Yeah.
that come in.
Yeah,
So probably quite a
and
bit.
this is still in its infancy in this town, so there's gonna be a lot more of this coming.
What do you think about, do you see problems?
I mean, I don't see any, I'm convinced it's upland bog. I mean, it's buffer zone, you know, and then you need the variance for the work in the 65.
Mm-hmm.
But I was pretty, you know, when we were out there,
It was pretty obvious.
yeah.
Okay.
We need the butters to speak.
Yeah. We have one abutter there, sir. Would you come up, please?
Could you sign in for us, please?
Yeah. There's a clipboard on the front table there.
It's just like a disco over.
Yeah. He's actually, if he wants to take that table, he's got a microphone right there, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can sit there if you want.
Sure.
Yeah, you could do that.
Then we can hear him. I guess there's an issue with the audio because the selectmen were yelling at each other last night about speak up, speak up, speak up.
Would you, sir? Would you come sit at this side of the, where the microphone is at the last chair there? And would you identify yourself, please?
Sure. Chuck Howard, 68 Center Street.
68 Center, okay.
My concern is the power run coming out of the station. I believe it's going to become a resident road that goes by my pit. And how much traffic is going to be involved in maintenance.
That's not our thing.
We had a scenario where a lot of material was removed recently this year and the dirt was ridiculous.
Well, that's a little bit different than simply having wires flowing.
I understand that. I'm just
Once
wondering
they're
how many
installed,
poles are,
It should be fairly calm. Maybe once a year there'll be.
I would think so.
Yes,
Well, he's
we
right here.
generally visit 2 or 3 times a year for maintenance. There wouldn't necessarily be any direct maintenance of those overhead lines that would be required.
Okay, where is the
So,
road?
that would be even more.
Okay, so he's going down, there's a low area here, so he's gonna come
The
up
line that
this
it would
way.
feed into
That
on Center Street.
keeps it out of my
Is
face.
that equipped to handle it at this point, or would
Yep.
that have to be upgraded?
It is. We've
Every
actually
year
we've got an
it's the same.
interconnection services agreement with EverSource. We've actually had it for quite some
How was
time.
it
So
determined what
the
was
utility
wetland?
risk on this project is all handled and squared
Is
away.
that with the split spoon?
So actually, the remaining items are
Hand auger?
local jurisdiction through the town.
Busy catching up on a bunch of other things in town here.
Excuse me.
Busy catching up on the 20 Ward Street, or I guess 16 Ward Street project, and finally getting the wires
Right.
connected for that.
Yeah, I know he had, there's always a water.
It'll still
problem in
take
that
them a
area.
while to carry out the work, but
Is there gonna
the
be any
thumbs
type
up
of
is
screening
given,
through
so
here?
to speak.
Cause this is.
Once they get out to the street, though, they can go right into that
Looks
line.
straight out there.
Correct. There's 3-phase
And this
power
is
right
grown
there.
in fairly well.
We will
but
be
in the
installing
wintertime,
one new
that's
pole
what I
on
see.
that line which is
Right.
where we'll interconnect, but the line itself
It is a planning board issue, yeah.
That's good.
can handle it.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to save the strength for a bunch of other projects. So, yeah, okay. People talking. Okay, so,
Oh, is that it?
I'm.
Yes, he saw where the poles are.
Oh, okay.
They're not going by his bedroom window, so.
And I heard the
Yeah,
comment about
they're
screening
actually
it.
behind this trees
showed them.
from the residents. There'll just be one single
Right,
pole
but screening is
at the
planning.
roadway itself.
So,
We were looking for people on the.
when's your planning board meeting?
23rd.
October 23rd,
23rd?
I believe.
Mr. Howard, I recommend you be at that meeting.
I mean, he's not even up in Oxford. He's on Center Street, right?
No, he's here, but his bedroom window's right
Right.
here, and this is a straight shot, so he's gonna ask about screening and stuff
Oh,
like that.
okay.
But that's not our,
Right.
that's not our thing, so.
I'm good, but,
Yep.
yeah, good. Okay, so, what do you guys think? Close the hearing? I mean, we're-
I'll make a motion that we close the hearing on DEPSC 126-569.
And then we'll get the plan with the buffer zones. Yeah, we'll get that shown.
We're just
I'll put
closing
that
the
in.
hearing.
Yeah, yeah, you can still close it.
One second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to close the hearing, and we will get, the incidentals will be that we'll get a map with the, showing that
All the buffer zones.
buffer zone area.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that we need?
I didn't really put too much else. What else did I put? Yeah, no really special conditions. You put up erosion controls and stuff, and you
Yes,
have to
we
do
were,
that.
we were gonna
You
put erosion controls all
At
of,
least around
around
the-
all of the existing bogs
Yeah.
where we would be coming
Okay.
and going from the
Yeah, that's what I
project.
figured.
We're not
I thought I
voting
saw
to give
those.
him the variance tonight, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, if you close the hearing, you gotta give it to
Yeah.
them tonight to give to get the order issued. You have to give them the variance. I mean, it's pretty much a variance, but you know, most of it's in the 65 from either one of the bogs. So.
Right.
so we have to
Just
close
the
the
way
hearing.
we thought.
Yeah, so, yeah, okay.
Choice.
I'm sorry,
He's right.
I will announce, let's have a vote on the motion to close the hearing, which has been moved and seconded. So all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, okay. That's a fact. Now, we're talking about the,
Issue the order with the variance.
right,
I make a motion that we issue the order of NOI with the variance as described on the, by the gentleman and also shown on the drawings for SC 126-569.
and a second,
You want to second it?
Yeah, I'll second.
So it's been moved and seconded to issue the variance, right?
Yes, to approve the NOI and with the
Approve the
variance.
NOI.
Order
with the
conditions with the
variance,
variance.
Could I make an amendment to that? In the NOI read that if the planning board changes anything,
We'd have to, oh yeah, we'd have to, we'd have
We
to.
get notified?
Yeah, we'd have to get the revised plans if anything changes,
so
we
if
get
the
anything
planning
that
board decides they
board-
want a fence, or they
Right.
want stuff, or they want, you gotta come back?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's the given?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we just put in the order that.
Well, I'll
that
withdraw the
depending on
amendment.
what's- Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and we have to accept the revised plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we have a motion to,
That's it,
And a second.
in a
yeah,
second,
and a
so we're
second.
good.
So all those in favor of issuing the
NOI,
NOI for-
Order.
with the variance,
with the variance. Yep.
please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now.
Okay, we're
That's
good.
it.
All right.
Dean, who's this gentleman with you? I didn't catch your name again.
Josh Farkas. I'm the developer on the project at Borrego.
Oh, here's one of your checks back for the newspaper. Remember the one, you gave me a check for the newspaper, but they'll send you a bill.
You did pay that.
Okay,
It's
do
already-
you want the check back?
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You guys do anything with Central Maine Power yet?
It's still got a ways to go.
Maine, Not just yet.
Not that I'm aware of.
It's a little too far out in the woods, I guess.
The state incentives in Maine aren't really in place yet.
I think so.
State attitude.
Because their main issue is if we agree,
I
you know.
took the second line, Mr. Chairman. You have the top shelf.
Oh, right, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll have right over here.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so now Plymouth Street. So we're gonna open it and because he's here.
Yeah.
But I spoke to the engineer and told him that they weren't flagged, so we'll just talk about it and, yeah, we went.
Okay, so no hearing.
They were gone. So we were gonna discontinue, but the guy wanted to come.
Where's my
so-
notes here? Okay. All right, Lot 8 Plymouth Street. Notice is hereby given. In accordance with Mass Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw. That public hearing will be held at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday, October 3rd, 2018, in Meeting Room 1, the Carver Town Hall. To hear the request for determination of applicability, that's a request, filed by Glenn Priolo to determine B, whether... Where's A?
Oh,
B.
they disappeared because they didn't ask us for it.
Determine B, whether the boundaries of the resource areas depicted on the reference plan or plans are accurately delineated, and D, whether the work depicted on the reference plans is subject to the Jurisdiction and Wetlands Protection Act and/or any municipal wetlands ordinance or bylaw of the town of Carver. The request is for a determination as to the accuracy of bordering vegetated wetlands located on or off the easterly corner and westerly side of the property. Project is located off Plymouth Street, Carver, Mass. Map 18, Lot 8. All interested parties are invited to attend. Okay.
How are you? I guess I'm just here because you guys went out today and I guess the...
Yes, we
Yeah.
found almost nothing as way of markings.
Sorry, your name, sir?
Glenn Priolo.
Glenn.
Yeah.
The eastern portion was flagged. I guess you guys didn't go over there and check that? You said the...
Yeah, that's the one kind of behind,
It's hard to
yeah.
get to, yeah.
Right.
It's way out of what we're doing, but the, just had the letter there showing that the far west side of the property.
Yeah. We followed along the whole west
Right.
arm.
You can kind of, I brought this just so you can see, I don't know if you have this, but you can see how
Yeah,
far
we had it.
we're out of, and you know, it's a really clear bank down at that bog and we're
Yeah, but the wetlands flags aren't visible at all down there.
not our property, yeah.
You're supposed to still be able to put them down on it.
Okay, well, the,
I think Bob was gonna maybe try to contact that property owner, you know, just as, because the problem is that when you filed the request, it requested that we look at the wetland delineation, and with no flags, we couldn't really,
but I mean.
it is obvious, it
well,
definitely
I'm
is
saying,
obvious.
If we're looking for just a determination and we're outside the jurisdiction, you guys, when you're standing there looking at it, it's 200 and plus feet away. I mean, we still need to flag something off the property.
I mean,
Well, how do we know it's 200 feet away?
Well, we staked the road, we did rough staking on the road, we staked the farthest
How
points.
many stakes did we find on the road? 2?
we found
We found more on the,
that,
Eastern
the
side.
SAS on that side, remember the septic?
we found the
that.
septic on the west side.
We
There
found,
were some
Stakes going
stakes,
from the
but they, not everything was labeled, and a lot of them had been knocked over.
Yeah, those are the old stakes from when the project
Okay.
was forward,
Yeah.
40B, but what's
Maybe
up-
we'll have to have you come out with us and
Right.
explain to us just what's out there.
Yeah, because when you're standing on that bog side, with the bog ditch that's way down the hill, because I went out there before I came here tonight, the furthest point is, you know, the septic system that's gonna be on that side. I mean, it's staked at the top of the hill, like, you know, I don't know if you guys seen that, it's marked. That was at the very top of the hill. And that's the closest point we are to anything to do with that wetland. So I guess what I'm asking is what we have to do now to just keep, we have a planning board meeting the 9th. I'm hoping they can do something contingent on, you know, just a letter of determination from you
I mean-
guys.
Well, we have to be able to
Right.
feel that those markings are
Right.
correct.
but the problem is, you know, being on someone else's property, I mean, theoretically, the guy doesn't have to, you know, he doesn't really have to give you permission to do that. I mean, you sometimes have to because of the
Yeah.
buffer zones, but so I talked to Bob about it, and I think he was gonna try to talk to the,
Yeah, and I talked about.
Who was the bog owner? Do you know?
I don't know who, do you
It's,
know?
Weston,
Weston?
Oh,
Eric Weston?
Eric Weston.
oh,
Yep.
oh,
But I guess,
Wouldn't mind, would he?
Probably not, no.
I guess what I'm asking is, even if I met you out there, and, because like I say, it is staked out for my planning board walk tomorrow night. If I met you out there, it shows you the furthest point, it shows on this plan, it shows.
And we could measure it, I mean,
We could measure it, I mean, because it's so distinct, the line is, you know, you can't,
You're gonna walk it with the planning board tomorrow
I'm walking in with the planning board tomorrow at 5.
at 5.
Yeah.
I could go along with you on that.
That'd be great, because I mean, I can bring a wheel and we can tape it
Yeah.
down, because the points are there on the septic system, and everything else is way out, you know, the septic is the closest point to that, and it's probably 250 feet out there.
Would you be?
I'd go on that too
Yeah,
tomorrow
okay.
night.
I'm
I'd
not
be
sure I could
available
go-
for
I'm
that.
not sure I'd
Okay.
be able to go. But I mean, if you guys could go and
Yeah.
that would help, then,
Right.
yeah. Because it's just weird, there wasn't one flag stub or anything, so it's almost like
Well,
they
like I said,
must have had,
It was, we felt it was so far out, and the elevation was so high where we were working, and it was clear of the bank, so we
But-
really didn't.
Mm.
but Bob did say
That's-
that when he went out originally, which is where he shows the flags on the plan, that those were there. So between when he had them actually surveyed
Really?
and we went out, that they're gone. So he had, those flags were there, that's why they're on the plan like that, but.
Well, Bob's a little off too, because it's, you know, it was flagged.
It was flagged for the,
us.
for the other project.
He thought it was reflagged, and we didn't flag anything down there, you know, because he told me today it wasn't, and I thought it was, and we didn't flag on that property. So those were flags from the prior 40B.
The solid line on your plan there on the west, there, is that your property line?
Yes. And
So
if you-
could we have the 65-foot flag? That's within your property, as opposed to the delineation of where the wetlands were. Because sometimes, I mean, that gets flagged as well, correct?
We could have a
They
flag.
could flag the 65, it's all on your land.
Yeah,
Right.
that would
The,
help.
Then we know exactly where it's at, and
Yeah.
you don't need a tape measure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have, like I say, this
Or
field-
actually the 100, because when
Or
they,
100, yeah,
yeah,
either
because
one.
then they're totally out of our jurisdiction.
Okay, then
And
that's fine.
labels,
Yeah.
the
Flag the
flags
100.
have to be labeled, so
We
we
can
know what they
we
are.
can give you that just off GPS tomorrow, you know, right off, like I say, this field. I mean, if somebody wanted to come out and walk it, we can give you the 100-foot line on the top of the bank. That's on our property.
Yeah, but I wanna see flags on the 100-foot line. I think that's what Savory's
Yes, yeah.
asking for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, up on the 100.
So why don't we just flag the 100-foot line and
Okay,
then we're good?
and then somebody could walk it with us tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
That was easy. Thanks, guys.
That all right with you, Mr.
Right,
Chairman?
right.
I think that will work.
What was that? Okay.
And the other one,
She's
the
at 5
other one
o'clock
is,
tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm sorry, Glenn?
and the other one, there are flags at the, in the other
The other one's
one,
all
way down the
flagged.
very, but that's way
You
up.
have the letter from Brad Holmes?
Yeah, but I don't think we need to
Oh,
worry
that's,
about
yeah,
that.
let me get that. This is Brad's report
You can take this.
Okay.
That shows the.
showing that he did flag it, so.
Okay.
And like I said, when Bob went out to do the survey, which is why they're on the plan, they were there. So somewhere in between, they disappeared.
Yeah, but if he throws the flags up on the 100, then
Yeah.
we're all done
Yeah.
having to have any
Like you
questions
say, you
about it.
really shouldn't be flagging someone else's property, but you kinda have to if the
Well-
buffer zone extends, but
Well-
the person who owns the
But you
property
don't,
doesn't
yeah.
have to allow him
Right.
to put flags on his property.
Right, but you can get access to it and then put the 100
Right,
feet. and
right.
Put the things on your property.
The 100 we can give you anyways, because that's
Yeah.
up.
That's easy.
Right.
And we're, like I say, we're another 75 feet out of that to the closest point of
Right.
anything we're gonna be doing on the site. The same on the other side, that's,
Sure.
you
Do
can
we
get
have
through
another
those roots, that's the only
copy of
other
this
thing.
map?
Yeah, I get a few copies, yep.
Go
You want
into
one?
Corvette
Yeah.
Mike's.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
That's the way we figured we were gonna go in that way.
That's what I was saying.
Can you get in from back of Corvette Mike's?
I don't know, I think it's through the water. 'Cause I tried to go out there too tonight, and I said, I ain't getting in there.
I think we need some high waters to get through it.
Yeah. But it's so, that one's so far out, and we're like 300-400 feet
Yeah.
from that, if you look at the plan. you know?
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
You might never come back, you walk out through Corvette Mike's.
All right, so we have to continue this for the next one because you have to see it tomorrow. Is that correct?
I
Yeah.
believe we do, yes.
Okay.
So a motion to continue is probably in order.
So we continue, but as long as planning board knows
Yeah.
that we're fine with it, they'll be fine.
So
make-
So if you
guys-
can-
If we walk it and you guys are talking in the meantime, they can do something contingent on just you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
That's all we need.
yeah.
I'll make the motion that we continue the hearing for Lot 8 Plymouth Street, pending a site review, a site visit rather,
Second
and
site visit. yeah.
second site visit.
And then you can just sign at the next meeting. As long as planning board, that our issues are done, you know, planning board will be okay, yeah, yeah.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to continue Lot 8 Plymouth Street's RDA application. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That's passed unanimous.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so,
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if they just meet out there? They
Yeah.
just meet on the site?
I have no idea whether they do or not.
Yeah, they do. They just show up at the site.
Oh, okay.
I'll find out from Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll ask
Maybe
Steve.
they're
You wanna
meeting.
hang on to that and
Yes,
bring it
I
with
do.
you?
Maybe they're
Yeah.
meeting.
Are you gonna
they
go
might be
tomorrow night?
meeting
I
here.
can't.
I'm not sure I can go either. I'll try to. 5
But I
o'clock?
saw it, I mean, I know where
Yeah.
things are.
Yeah, and as long
I
as you
haven't
guys.
seen it yet, so.
Right.
it'll
So
be
we're just gonna
good for
have
me
him
to-
flag the 100, and then we'll know, this is the 100, this is where the farthest point. That makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean, if the flags go where we think they go, then there's no problem.
Right. I mean, it is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
okay, next item.
the mosquito gentleman.
157 North Main Street.
Mosquito guy.
EP and SE 126-568.
These are the revised plans based on our comments,
Okay.
last meeting.
You only have one?
You will each get your own?
Really?
Well, no, you and I get a sorry.
You always have to share with.
Okay. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Mass Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw. The public hearing will be held at 7:15 p.m. on Wednesday, September 19th, 2018. Okay, that needs a correction then. In Meeting Room 1 at the Carver Town Hall to hear the notice of intent filed by David Mulcahy, 1929 Development Inc., applicant for the addition of a craftsman tradesman building onto the existing single-family dwelling. Portion of the proposed building, infiltration basin, installation of a retaining wall, tree removal and grading are located within the 100-foot buffer to a bordering vegetated wetland. No work is proposed within the 65-foot buffer protected under the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw. The project is located 157 North Main Street, Carver, Mass., map 24, parcels 4-A. All interested parties invited to attend. So, you are.
Good evening, I'm Kevin Grady, from Grady Consulting. I'm representing the applicant, David Mulcahy, who's here, and also the property owner, Buzz Artiano, for the notice of intent for 157 North Main Street. We had a meeting a few weeks ago, we went over the merits of the application, the impacts to the resource areas, the setbacks to the resource areas. We discussed how the stormwater management system works, and that it's compliant with stormwater regulations. We had discussion with the commission, and the commission's main comment was that you wanted us to take a look at moving the basin a little bit further from the 65-foot no disturb zone. So what we wound up doing was reconfiguring the building, the connection piece of the building, shortening that up, and moving the structure away from the resource area, which gives us more room to slide the infiltration basin away from the 65-foot no disturb zone. It also allowed us to remove the retaining wall, gave us a little more space to work. Those changes are reflected on those plans there.
But the parking lot stayed right where it was, is that correct?
The parking lot came with the building.
I remember
So
Jim
we had a,
Tim had said something about trying to, Saber, you did too, didn't you, about skewing that corner?
we had a
Yeah,
40,
it's moved closer to the road,
Okay.
the whole building.
along with the parking lot. So
Yeah.
we had a 45-foot section and we're at 30 feet now. I moved everything 15 feet.
I'm fine. I know I think we have a gentleman about it.
Yeah, Mr. Nash.
Mr. Nash.
He's concerned.
He's
Yeah.
concerned about
Well, he's-
the elevation
and the-
between the two.
Yeah, and the flooding. I mean, it's already flooded.
This is the kind of construction I want to see in the town. I want to see businesses.
Oh, I
Small
like small.
businesses,
Yeah. I know.
It's a good tax base.
Is the guy who owns a business probably gonna do it?
Maybe not. Maybe start off that way.
Rent it or something.
Yeah, who knows? Security guard.
Yeah. I think he used to go to zoning. He used to go to zoning. Hear about the, because of the way the business is.
So have you been to planning?
No,
You get to go to zoning too?
we gotta go see everybody.
Oh, lucky you.
She was lucky.
Fairly simple project. We gotta go.
You start off with the easy place
Yeah,
first,
the-
right?
What's the
Yes,
zoning? The zoning is a setback or something?
So
With the business thing?
we have
Yeah,
a
that
little
we-
disagreement about a use issue.
Oh, okay.
Use issue? What?
Use of what the building's being used for and stuff, I guess?
Yeah,
Yeah, ZBA relief request.
Yep. We're indicating, we believe it's a craftsman tradesman use. They're taking or the building inspector's taking a hard stance on it and saying it's not exactly a
Oh,
craftsman
okay. Yeah,
tradesman,
yeah.
so I want you to go have a meeting and discuss it.
Oh.
Building inspector, I'm sorry, the building inspector said.
He's the zoning enforcement
It's not
officer.
exactly a tradesman, craftsman thing, so he's got an issue with what it's being used for, right?
Yes.
What would he call it then? Commercial?
I'd like to address the board if I may.
Yes, but.
Just curious.
Now, I want to make sure this gets put on the record properly. Buzz Artiano, I'm the current owner of the property. Good evening. So when we applied for the planning board site plan approval, the building inspector made a determination that the proposed use he felt did not fall under a craftsman tradesman guideline, which we feel is being interpreted very narrowly. So we think we've addressed that with our revised application, but we are still keeping our meeting with the zoning board of appeal. The bottom line is the property is zoned highway commercial, and we're planning on using it for a commercial use. And in our opinion, the zoning enforcement officer is, no set of zoning regulations could possibly interpret every single little thing you're doing in your business.
That's right.
And so we take offense to his interpretation, and we're pursuing that with the zoning board.
Is it because it's attached to the house? Is that
Nope.
not an issue?
No, he
it's
just,
strictly in the
he
use.
wants that book to say that, oh dear, mosquito control
Oh, yeah.
is listed as an approved use. And that's never gonna happen. I own
Right.
6 Commerce Way, which I'm sure you're all aware of, and it's multiple businesses in there. And I guarantee you, if you went through the zoning line by word, that half of the businesses that operate in there wouldn't fit in a perfect
Right.
square in that box.
Right.
The bottom line is it's a commercial park.
Yeah.
It's not a hazardous operation, and there really should be no issue with the zoning. But we do have an issue with zoning right
We have
now.
a ZBA.
Correct. Thank you.
I didn't really, you know. Oh, Francis is.
Don't even get me
Oh,
going.
you don't know. Okay.
I'm real big on fair. I don't like unfair. That makes me crazy.
I find it a little bit.
Well,
I keep. See the stones on the bottom?
So this Tim Norton, this is the line that comes.
has this been looked at by the Concom?
Yes, this
he
was
was here.
this is where we had the ANRAD.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had the ANRAD, we
Right.
approved the ANRAD, and we went out and looked at it before the last meeting. And it's Miss Margaret O'Leary's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
okay,
remember that.
I've walked that, but along the highway, from the house, along the highway, we never went that far back behind the house.
For the ANRAD, we went behind the house.
Right, but I wasn't there that day, was I? I don't think-
Oh, for the ANRAD either? When they filed to get the wetline approved,
Yeah.
I think you were there that
Yeah.
day.
That was, right,
Yeah.
it's true.
So you remember there was, you know, that was a tough wetland. There was, you know, but we approved it the way it was flagged because John Zimmer,
Yeah.
you know, did some soil
Okay,
samples
now
and
it's
things
coming
like
back,
that.
okay.
And as you know, when you go, you know, you walk down the street to the right, it gets wetter and wetter,
Yes,
wetter. It comes
that's
up
right,
towards
we're
the
coming-
street,
right,
yeah.
right.
But they're not doing anything over there.
Yeah.
And then the wetlands go the other way off to the back on that side.
Right. I know Mr. Nash had some problems, or some questions the last time you were here,
Uh-huh.
so.
Very minor questions. I think the project's fantastic, that new project. May I address it?
Yeah.
Can
I don't buzz, no issues.
you let him speak?
Yeah.
2 days ago, I was approached by some members. I was good, and I got the shock of my life. Out of town, not you people, out of town, there's other people that get tick spray they're using. And guess what the tick spray is doing is it's killing all the bees. Now we get cranberry bogs running back inside. I grow thousands of flowers, and if we lose our bees, we're screwed. Now my question is does that spray kill the tick and the wildlife?
Does it kill the tick? Yes.
Does it kill the wildlife, like the deer,
No.
the birds,
No.
bees?
Can kill bees if it's touched, but it's not the way that we
Right.
apply it.
I'm asking you, B, I was told 2 days ago, right now, you get a competition out there, right now they got mega lawsuits out there, mega lawsuits. They lost their hives, everything, they're all dead.
But this
I
is
get
not
half skimmies out
Conservation
property, we show
Commission.
it, I don't want to turn around, come after the winter, see them all dead. I mean, I'm on the project, it's fantastic, but, you know, just,
Well,
I don't know.
yes, it is, because it wouldn't be health, because it's not a human health item. And competition of the,
Spraying the property.
property is a conservation issue.
I'm glad you said that, because I get yelled at.
you won't be spraying your side either.
When I said chemicals gonna be
Yeah,
stored.
okay, buddy, okay.
How are we gonna store these chemicals? That's not, you know.
It's not our issue, is it?
It certainly is if it runs into the well.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely is, yeah. Yeah, Tim was wrong in that aspect.
These are, so, just to satisfy Mr. Nash and my own curiosity, I mean, too much of anything will kill everything, so,
Correct.
let's get real, you know.
Correct.
Yeah.
And obviously, any cranberry grower, his livelihood depends upon bees. So, from a nosy standpoint, is this one of these deals where everything is fine provided the person doing the application knows what they're doing? Or is it really difficult to overspray an area is what I'm asking, so that, you know, we don't get, for lack of a better description, Bubba, who goes out there with his backpack sprayer and wipes out 27 colonies. And, you know, oops, I mixed it wrong. I mean, and it's a big concern, because not everybody, I certainly am convinced you know what you're doing, and I'm very good at my trade, but not everybody in my trade is, so
Correct.
that's the question.
So our product's non-transferable. So if our product hits a bee, it can't go back to the hive and kill the hive. So when that bee were to go back to the hive, it wouldn't kill that hive. That one bee may die.
Just kill the bee.
Just kill that one bee. Most companies out there that are using a backpack, their product's transferable. So if it hits one bee, it then goes out and it goes back to the hive. It'll transfer it to the
You
entire
can
hive.
infiltrate the hive.
Mostly chemical companies. Products we use are non-transferable.
Has the Board of Health been asked about this?
I don't know.
What's that?
Has the Board of Health been asked about this? Do you know, the health
Uh,
agent? Have you had contact?
Review for planning board.
Oh, they were in the tech review, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the fire department.
yeah. I don't
I
think
think,
Kevin,
I think this gentleman's jumping through every hoop we happen to have in the town.
Right,
so-
but the question is whether it's hard to say exactly who would be the person who would decide on the bee application, but health and conservation are both sort of equally to some degree involved. I mean, conservation has to try and protect the environment, and protecting the bees in Carver is part of our environment. What is it you're going to do there? You're going to store and run a building that a business from here that sprays?
My trucks are gonna be parked there at night and on the road during the day.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's, low maintenance on, the vehicle, but filling, that's about it. I mean,
So you're like the
Offices.
other business that have really grown up this summer. It's the mosquito abatement, the ticks, the
yeah, the issue
fleas.
is where I rent right now is every year I run out of the space that I have. I'm just trying to solve my issue, because every year I'm gonna be looking for another place.
So they're really not working out of this place other than the fact that they just get in their vehicle and take off in the morning.
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
Testing your employees in the backyard.
Not to us.
And you're not mixing chemicals or anything else there?
So the product's essential oils.
Essential oils?
Yeah, peppermint, rosemary.
Oh, yeah.
garlic.
How's that garlic stuff work?
Yeah, you smell like a pizza factory if you use
Honest
that.
to God, I spray my yard with the garlic, the neighbors think I'm making Italian
Yeah.
French bread,
It's-
garlic bread.
Similar to that Nature's
like
Avenger.
spaghetti's
Have you
cooking.
heard of that?
It's similar. There's a lot of products out there that are very
Yeah.
similar. It all depends on how you apply it to
Yeah.
residential properties and how you're what you're mixing right
Yeah.
now.
The Nature's Avenger is the one that I talked about for it's for invasive species. So we were talking about like safe thing, and it's an oil. It's like an orange oil.
There's a lot more
Yeah.
oils now being sprayed than there were 5 years ago. And this-
Right.
10 years ago, it just started in this.
So they're a lot
A
safer.
lot more national companies coming in.
Right.
Well, even municipalities now, that's where the garlic spray started from, I guess. Municipalities started using it in the playground areas and stuff like
Can we get
that,
some literature on this?
to keep the kids
Can we get
from.
literature on this?
I could.
The product, I'd like to have some literature on your product.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Okay, that'd be
know what
good.
we're
We'll have it for
dealing
the
with.
file, and we can
Yeah.
give it to Kevin and have him take a look
Yes.
at it too.
I'm not really
Yeah.
crazy on the overuse of the word organic, but I do know that I thought they were crazy I went to Growers Supply and when I said, "What have you got you can sell me?" And he said, "Nothing. You don't have a license. I give you this bottle of garlic. That's about it." And I thought he was nuts. And he says, "Some people swear by it. Other people tell you don't waste your money." And I mixed it up and sprayed the yard, and 2 neighbors come over and invited themselves for dinner, but we didn't have any mosquitoes for a while. So,
They smelled the garlic. That's why they came for dinner.
well, apparently the mosquitoes hate the smell of garlic. It doesn't kill them. They just don't like the smell, so they leave. Which I'm okay with that.
We should put
It
garlic
works,
around
right?
our necks when we
As long
go
as
in
it
the
works.
woods.
So it educated me a little bit in that theory. So I am glad to hear that a lot of your stuff is,
Very
Natural.
innocuous as far as
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
But this board would like some information on just the stuff, just so
Be
that
good to know
you know,
for our-
we have an
for knowing,
education
yeah.
on it.
And that has been provided, the MSDS sheets have been provided to the town already under the peer review.
Oh, okay. Okay. They probably have. So I could probably get those from Stephen.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
provide another copy,
Okay.
just let you know. it's
Thank
already
Yeah.
been-
Thanks, okay.
I think Buzz signed in. Yeah, I'll have you
I
sign
don't
it.
think
Yeah.
I don't think Mr. Nash signed in, that's all. Just wanna mention.
Oh, okay. No, we did last.
Mike, did you sign in on the sheet?
He did not.
Yeah.
So are we to close this and then,
Close, issue the order.
Yep.
You don't need a variance because it's not in the 65.
Right. I'll make a motion that we close the order, close the hearing for 157 North Main Street, DEP SC 126-568.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to close the hearing on 157 North Main Street. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's passed, okay. Now, are we settled as far as what we're gonna,
Yep.
I think I'm okay with it as drawn.
Yeah.
I am too. I think it's a good solution, and
I do too.
It's good job.
I do too.
Yeah, that allays a lot of the things that were concerning me, and it also puts less of the building in 100 feet.
Right.
which
You wanna
is
do it or you
an
want me to
added
do it?
bonus. Go ahead.
I make the motion that we issue the NOI for,
Order.
the order for 157 North Main Street, DEP SE 126-568 as drawn on the plans.
I will second that.
it's been moved and seconded to issue the notice of intent for DEP SC 126-568. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
And we're gonna have. Thank you. We're gonna have put up the conservation post on the 68th. So
Right.
that's in the order.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in the
Let me
order.
put up some conservation posts.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the 65 is the 65. Not 68 and a half, not 70.
Like last time.
That would be in the basin, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
62 and a half.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes?
for you.
Oh, yes.
So I got a
Dear
check
chicken
from you right for
mosquito,
the, recording? I think I did, yeah, never mind.
So now we're doing minutes, we're cleaning the place right up.
So I'll record that for you. I think I have the check, yeah, the check's on.
Yeah, it's on the board.
Yep.
It's just garlic that they spraying.
Honest to God, and the stuff, it's so strong in the concentrate, it'll gag you. I don't care how much you
Garlic?
love garlic,
Oh,
it stinks to high heaven.
Garlic.
But you mix it in water, and then they told me at Grower Supply to mix it with a little tiny bit of ivory detergent, soap, cause that'll help it to bind to
Emulsify,
the, yeah, it'll help to bind to the, and a little bit of, cooking oil.
Did you put it on
So
yourself
you-
to keep it?
You stick it in a bucket, and I throw it in the backpack sprayer, and when I hit the pond with it,
Oh,
the cooking
okay.
oil lets it sheen on the pond.
Okay.
And it doesn't hurt any, it's environmentally it's okay. And
Just smells.
it works.
It's interesting, I was saying to you that vampires don't like garlic either, and, the mosquitoes are basically.
Yeah, they kinda like vampire. Yeah, you're right, little blood-sucking vampires.
Probably used to use that, way back in the
Yeah.
day.
I guess,
Transylvania.
I guess the
Or you
ticks
should
don't
wear-
like it either,
you should
but it
just wear-
doesn't kill them, they just go away.
Wear it around your neck when you go out in the woods and those mosquitoes will stay away from you.
Well, we'll
Okay.
get this, I'll mix it
Thanks,
up and I'll take a bath with it.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah, I wonder if you wear like garlic around your neck when you go
My
out in the woods, would
grandfather did for
mosquitoes
years,
stay
never
away?
got sick. I swear to God.
Never
My
got sick.
grandfather used to eat a raw garlic every morning,
Oh.
and an onion like you eat an
Oh
apple.
my god, that gives me such
Every
heartburn.
single morning.
If I eat garlic, it stays with me for like weeks after. I burp it for like weeks.
Well, you know why?
It's
No,
disgusting.
he never got sick because you could never get near him.
Fix that
Oh,
strobe,
it's true.
Nothing could ever
You're
get
like,
near him.
oh.
that strobe light.
I was like the disco in here.
Yeah.
It's one of the minor things about your lighting system.
Strobe lights. Feel like I'm at the discotheque. Don't you?
Would you like to do the minutes, Mr. Chairman?
The filming will show that.
Those are my
all the
pathetic minutes.
dancing to the-
Don't laugh. Those are my minutes.
Oh, you did these?
I did them last week, remember?
Oh, this one we're gonna really appreciate, Mary Ann. Is that what you're telling me?
She did a good job.
Deb made them look nice, but there might be a few things lacking.
I'm gonna have to really read them now.
No, I don't. Just don't. Briefly.
Gonna have to really scrutinize these, Savory. These are
Ones that I took.
Brooks minutes.
I'm reading it for the third time.
Oh, good.
That was David Mulcahy.
Did Mulcahy, yeah, Mulcahy. And Kevin Grady was the engineer. Buzz Attiano was the other
Yeah, him.
guy, yep. And then, did Glenn Priolo sign? The one for Plymouth
He
Street?
did. The only one that didn't was the first guy. Who was the first guy? You guys?
Oh, Dean Smith?
Nope, GAF Engineering.
Oh, Bill Madden.
He didn't sign it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll sign his name.
His was informal.
Yeah.
Wonder why they're giving us such a hard time about the use.
It's weird. Bob Francis is like stuck on that for some, I don't know.
Yeah, see, in the minutes, when you get to the third page, where I asked them about the chemicals being stored in the building.
What's Priolo's first name? Bob?
Glenn.
Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn, 2 N's.
Okay, I can read that. Thank you.
But I agree with you. I think that the chemicals and so forth and so on are within our purview. If we're granting a variance for the wetlands and there's something stored away from, we still have a right to know what
Oh,
will
yeah.
happen if that
Definitely
leaks
Yes.
and ends up.
Reaches the detention basin basin's, within the 100. And theoretically, the detention basin's supposed to filter things out, but
Tradesman Craftsman Warehouse.
I think there was a drain in the floor there too, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Like
it
a
says that
closed,
there's gonna
contained
be
drain.
an oil separator
Yeah,
on the floor.
oil separator.
They're gonna require an MDC trap, and that depends on which way the wind blows, because some towns require it, other towns forbid it.
Well,
All
that should be a
depends
building
on-
thing, right?
Yeah, all depends on what,
Well, if Bob Francis is gonna be so strict, he should require it, right?
unless he doesn't like them.
Oh, I don't know.
So who did the meeting minutes for August 15th? Did they have somebody else here?
Susan?
So I don't have to worry about those?
Nope,
right?
they
No.
got approved last week.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And what about the set before that?
That was
We
yours.
Approved on August 15th. Do I need to submit them?
I think Deb already did. I think,
So she just scanned a copy that
I
somebody
think,
had?
yes, because I think she just said, did those get approved? And I said yes. And so she took the draft off of them. Because I don't think anything got changed on those either.
You can't
Okay.
post a draft copy that still says
Right.
draft up on the
Right.
website.
that's why I'm
So she took
asking.
off the draft because she knew that they got approved the way they were. I think there was no changes on those either.
Yeah, because I send them as a Word document, so anybody can go in
Right.
and take
Oh,
off
and
the
take the word.
watermark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, just making sure.
I'm just learning
Yeah,
about the
I'm pretty
watermarks.
sure. I could check with her on those. That would
If
have
she
been the
needs
ones
them, just have
before
her
August.
Email me, yeah. It would have been August 1st, I think, 'cause
Oh,
the
okay,
15th,
yeah.
right, so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she would have asked me probably if not.
We granted the request on Gate Street.
Mhm.
That's so far out in the middle of nowhere that I
Oh,
can't
God, yeah. And
see
that's,
where that's even an issue.
no.
I would make a motion that we accept the minutes.
I have
September 19th meeting as written.
Savory has some changes.
I have two corrections.
Okay.
John Deli Priscoli's full last name is Deli Priscoli. So where you have Mr. Priscoli, it should be Mr. Deli Priscoli.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's twice. Bottom of page one.
Is
of
it
the very-
separated? Is there space between the deli and the Priscoli, do you think?
I
I've
believe it's
seen it both
hyphenated.
ways. I've seen a hyphen.
Oh, it's hyphenated?
I believe so. It's hyphenated, I believe, but it's his full name.
So it's Deli
DELLI.
Yep.
Hyphen
hyphen
Priscoli.
PRISCOLLI. Yeah, hyphenated. That way it's sold.
DELI.
No,
DELI?
no, DELI.
LLI.
That's on every corner in New York.
Wow.
Now
you
they're
get
now
that
they're called
name?
bodegas.
Where did he get that name from? Where is he? What's
He's
his?
Italian.
Oh, Italian? Oh, we have the eyes.
Why don't you ask him, because we're still being recorded, so you...
I tried.
All right, so
George, where'd you get your name from?
Furious.
I will.
It'd have to be Italian. There's too many eyes in it.
You got 2 spots?
Yeah, bottom of page one, top of page two. I will second the motion with corrections as indicated.
Oh, kiddo. That's it.
Okay, the motions for the minutes for September 19th, 2018 have been
You wanna
moved
hire me?
to accept them
Here
with
with the
corrections. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Any opposed? Passed.
but you'd have to abstain, because you weren't here,
Yeah.
and we don't have 3 to vote, is that correct?
Oh.
No, well, you have 201.
We have a quorum.
2-0, oh, we have a quorum, that's correct, I'm sorry, I
Oh,
stand
right.
corrected.
Because we only got 4.
Okay.
I didn't think we had to spell it out.
And do you have to have a quorum to
I'm
approve
sorry.
minutes?
That's okay, what?
So you actually have to have a quorum to approve minutes?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have to
Oh,
have a
really?
quorum to
Even
blow
though
your
it's not
nose.
like a.
yeah, you do.
So am I
You do.
putting it in here that it was,
It's 201,
right?
so we
Voted
have a
passed
quorum, but
201.
201.
Yeah, because we only have 4 people now.
Yeah,
Because
Victor
JP's
now
gone.
and
Yep.
recusing.
Yeah, because he wasn't here.
Abstain.
and what is this other, oh, wait a minute,
Yeah, that's the one for,
what's that?
oh, that, Beaver Dam Road. When I went to the meeting last night, Sarah Hewen said, have you been down Beaver Dam Road? I'm like, no. So she said, drive down there. I drove down there and Savory and Jim were with me and this guy's plowing a road or something next to a stream. Savory's got pictures. Into the wetlands.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's a vacant piece of property next to the house. So the guy who owns the house owns the vacant piece of land.
a stream right there. That little hollow that you can see
I
here.
don't know.
Wow.
Do we, should this be recorded? We can still be on TV.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
We have a quorum, we
Yeah.
have to not close the
It's a
meeting, and then
violation.
we can't talk about it.
Right.
Okay,
Oh, that's true.
all right.
So
Wow.
anyway, we're gonna send him a letter. Oh yeah, I have no idea why he's doing it. It's
Yeah.
weird.
See, this tree is that tree.
Nice.
And it's right next to the water.
Okay.
This is,
There's a stream, and then he's gone into the wetlands with a stream or a
Well, I have no problem putting this right on the record. So
Okay.
we have it on the record.
So he will receive that.
Mm,
We'll have him come in the next meeting and find out what he's doing.
okay. So what else do we have
Next
to do?
meeting's the 24th.
I don't know.
This is timely.
Instead of the
202
17th,
annual
because there's only one thing on, so I figured we'd do something. No, we have a couple
Do you
things.
want to, do anything with this at all?
I mean, we could issue, you could issue an enforcement order,
Let's,
a form, but usually we do it with a letter.
Let's do it with the letter first.
I think that's better,
See if we
yeah.
get a response.
Yeah, because sometimes an enforcement order sounds,
Okay. And then let's put it on the first item for next meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
To figure
Yeah.
out, did we hear from him?
yeah. So hopefully, I bet he'll call me. Once he gets
Just
this
for the
letter, he'll
record,
probably
this
call
is
me.
concerning 13 Beaver Dam Road in Carver.
Oh, right, yeah, we should put that, yeah. It's actually
And this is
13/19. I think 13 is where the house is, 19 was the
19.
lot next to it, is owned by the,
So, how do you want me to word it? A homeowner is making changes to land, so a letter without,
Yeah, I don't think we need
yeah,
to
without
write
it,
it.
Homeowner
without
is,
unauthorized activity.
I don't know, yeah, within,
Then-
adjacent to a
Yeah, like within
waterway.
65 and
Yeah.
into the
Adjacent,
wetlands.
that's right, adjacent to a waterway.
Right,
Requesting that they appeared on
yeah, I
the
can give you
October
like,
24th
look at
meeting.
that if you want. We're
Okay.
just gonna send it, it's like a violation letter.
okay.
Failing which we will go out and drag somebody in. Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
I will second that.
Then moved and seconded
Take
to
those
adjourn.
plans.
All those in favor,
And
please
you're gonna
say
keep your plan there, right?
aye.
Aye.
No, 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 no.
No, no,
thank
no,
you.
no, 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 no. See?
What happened?
Are we out?
What happened?
I'm keeping my plans. This
You
is
keep
for,
a plan?
that's the one for the planning board.
Yep, and you can keep the solar one if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Can I see that?
We have to vote.
again?
We have to vote on the adjournment.
Yeah, we haven't voted, okay. It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
This whole